Well, greetings and welcome back. This is episode 54, and I haven't done a video since August 1st. And unfortunately, on September 2nd, I came down with COVID. And believe me, you don't want to get this disease, especially at my advanced age. And as I read up on COVID 19, you never know how long it will last and how some symptoms can linger for quite a while, and some may never leave. Fun stuff, but I was fortunate as I do feel fine now. Okay, enough about COVID 19. We, as a part of the animal kingdom, grossly underestimate the diversity, strength, and endurance and necessity of plant life. After all, they make up 82% of our global biomass, while the animal kingdom makes up only 0.5%. And of that 0.5%, humans only make up 0.1% of the Earth's biomass. That's a major difference. And to round out some of the other factors on our planet, bacteria makes up 13% of our biomass. And on a more simplistic level, you have to respect the capabilities of plant life because if I cut off my arm, another arm is not going to grow back. And I've cut off some tree limbs, bushes, and flowers, and most, but not all of them, do come back. We have a tree in the front of our house that I believe is over 130 years old, and it still looks good and blooms every year. And you can't say that about any human being, and not including some animals and fish that can live that long. Again, I'm not a scientist, so I can't specify. And since plant life makes up 82% of our biomass, they are critical to reducing global warming, especially in the Amazon. And if the land and water creatures die off, the plants will still be here, not to mention that the biggest living things in this planet are both plants. The two biggest living things on this planet are trees, sequoia and redwood trees. Nothing is bigger than them. Plant life is incredibly adaptive, dynamic, and enduring. They're not going anywhere without a fight. As hard as that seems to believe, since all of them are rooted to land and or water and not nearly as mobile as the animal kingdom is. And lastly, we need plant life more than they need us. Plants win this battle hands down. The more you know and learn, the more confused you get, especially when you're my age. And as the song says, confusion will be my epitaph. And that's from the song Epitaph from the group King Crimson. There are three words that can be used for any answer or conversation, and it's I don't know. You can use these three words for any response, and they can keep you out of a lot of trouble too. So, how did Alex Jones and his InfoWars website make out in his legal battle with the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings? What are these assholes thinking? Do you have to constantly make up your own reality that doesn't gel with the actual reality? And to think that he would mock a mass shooting of children at an elementary school? I mean, you can't get any lower than this. $4.5 million, dollars, which of course will probably never be paid out since I'm sure there will be appeals dragging on for years. I've never agreed philosophically with the death sentence, but what some of these right wing, barbaric extremists have been doing to this country in the past few years, I would consider it. These people cannot get any lower than this. And as I always say, be very careful, people, on what you see and read online. There's some really toxic shit out there. Use your head and be mindful. Hallmark has us all hooked on buying cards, and you'll notice I hate buying any type of card. And specifically, I don't understand the point to anniversary cards between husbands and wives. Look, I love my wife. You both know the date, and I certainly hope you could each go out and spend 8, 10, or even more on these lame cards with all the misty language that we would say to each other unless they were poets or writers. And I know that couples rarely speak to each other in this manner. I know we don't. If you both know the date, forget the cards and just go out and have dinner and a few drinks, and that's it. Or if you're really ambitious, you can afford it. Stay overnight or go on a short or long trip, and you'll save the money on the cards. It's just another trap they have us hooked into. The eternal question is this: is life a fact or fiction? You could say that it's both, and I agree, but the majority of our perceptions are fictional, not fact. The reason being that every moment of our life is a perception, an estimate, a singular image, concept, or notion that can be shared with another person, but not entirely. Let's say you're discussing a movie or a song or event that you have an acquaintance both agree on. Your agreement may have different degrees of coherence, but chances are you have a differing degrees of subtleties and confirmation. The degrees of separate awareness, imagery, and recognition may vary, just as there are degrees of separation in legal court case judgments. The same is true for debates, conversations, everyday events, and discussions. We all basically live on the fringes or the periphery of events. Our perceptions are estimates and guesses, and this is what makes life so interesting and challenging. It's that simple, according to me. At my age, I'm definitely showing those signs of forgetfulness, especially short term memories. But as I like to say, don't fret about it. Much of one's life is quite forgettable, as most of what happens to you is boring, useless, and of no purpose. And sadly, even if it is significant, it's okay to forget things. And at my age, the mind can only hold on to so much, and I will stop here.